Katrina Shaddix, Executive Director, Bear Warriors United, President of Sustainability Leaders Initiative, 3287 County Road 426, Geneva, Florida. And I'm just going to, it's not a rehearsed public comment. I just sort of want to go over the issues and solutions for what we can work on together for 2022. First on the list, I just want to make a comment about the whole gambling thing. That property needs to be redeveloped into high-density housing instead of putting these apartments and houses into our wooded areas, which everyone in Seminole County hates. I just think it's a no-brainer to put high-density housing, apartments, townhomes on that property, not a gambling or high entertainment complex, as he worded it. But anyway, one thing that we do need to do in Seminole County this year is eliminate the backyard breeders, and we do have a prolific one in Sanford. He has over 30 dogs in his backyards. He's forcibly breeding them, and that needs to end. We do have a formula working with Humane Society of the United States to get rid of backyard breeders. So if you would like to work with me, Commissioner Herr, on that this year to get that eliminated, that would be great. Second, is there still the possibility that trees will be cut down in the Black Bear Wilderness area to expand the parking lot? If that, I know you can't answer questions during this, but if that is still a possibility, I would like to work with the county to make sure that doesn't happen, and to possibly start charging admission to non-county residents for the maintenance costs for our parks that Seminole County's paid for to buy that property and preserve. And earlier last year, I asked that y'all pass a trap resolution to ban the use of traps in the county. I'm putting that request on hold because the FWC responded with a very easy, user-friendly trap survey, and they are looking to ban certain traps that I asked the county to pass a resolution on. So I'll keep y'all posted on that, but hopefully we will get those horrible devices banned statewide this year. And wanted to check and see if Seminole County did follow through and hire a natural resources director. I know Mary Moskowitz mentioned last year that y'all had a position open, and don't know if that's been filled yet. Mary also stated that last year she would check into modifying the LDC to allow a third-party team to perform a wildlife assessment of the properties that are slated to be destroyed for development, and was wondering if there has been any movement on that. And that would basically be a team of biologists going in to document all of the wildlife living on the property slated for development and to relocate them into a safer area. Also, just wanted to let y'all know there is something very concerning that I found, and I'm going to need the 6 minutes for my executive director position there. First of all, I asked for a moratorium on spraying chemicals into our Seminole County lakes, ponds, and rivers. When I did a public records request to get the cost of those chemicals, the public records request was I was going to be charged $2,000 to get what chemicals Seminole County is spraying. That indicated to me that the county's doing a lot of spraying, so that was kind of a red flag. And just want to let y'all know, recently a moratorium was placed on chemical spraying of hyacinths and hydrilla in the Blue Springs region to help the manatees survive this year. Technically, it is a violation of the Endangered Species Act to be poisoning manatee food. We do have manatees in our lakes, Lake Monroe and Lake Jessup. So to continue the spraying of those food plants and those body waters are a violation. I'd ask you to reconsider placing a moratorium like the state did for any spraying of manatee food throughout the county. And the most concerning thing, good. While I was researching, I think I told y'all before that I have a lawsuit against the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the collapse of the Indian River Lagoon, which led to the starvation of the manatees. And that is based on the amount of rezoning changes that were granted by the cities in Brevard County that led to the stress of the water treatment facilities and the leaching of all of those septic tanks. That's what caused the blue algae blooms, which killed the seagrass, which starved the manatees. But in my research for that, I found that in the 2020 legislature, the Geneva Freshwater Lens Task Force Act was repealed. And that was a pretty significant protection for our freshwater drinking source out in Geneva. And I was just wondering if Seminole County knew about the repeal of that act. And if not, I think our lobbyists in Tallahassee might want to be called out on not advising the county on a very important Water Protection Act being repealed. And I do think that a task force needs to be reinstituted and needs to be with the local people. Mr. Creedon would be perfect on that task force. But again, why was this done on the down low? Why wasn't Seminole County advised of this repeal of the act? And why weren't the people actually living in Geneva, like me, drinking off of the Geneva lens, notified about this? We need protections now more than ever. We don't need them repealed. So if y'all could help find out, who was responsible for that at the state level, I would appreciate it. And to also initiate another Geneva lens task force would be great for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, very much for the ability to clarify. I did not make an ask to do anything to the charter. I'm not asking to remove anything from anything.
Okay.
I'm asking to come before this board and present facts, what it is we propose. That's it.
And we may not like what he's proposing, but until he proposes it,
Thank you.
we don't know.
There's a lot of
So-
things we don't like that people propose.
Well, no kidding.
So that the commission knows and the citizens know, I've talked to a lot of people, not just this commission. I've talked to community leaders in Castleberry, community leaders in Seminole County, and I've gotten a lot of feedback. And for when I sat down with each one of you and talked, things have changed. I want the opportunity to present. That's all I've asked for so far.
As the district commissioner, I would like to give them the opportunity to not only talk about what they're proposing, but also to have them hear from us where we are on that Oxford Road project and what the options are moving forward for that development, for that parcel.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Constantine.
I have no objection to listening to what anybody has proposed. I think it's extremely important because this is something that, whatever they're proposing is a huge deal, would make a significant impact in that area and in the county, even if it's just an entertainment complex, whatever they're proposing. But also the reason why I would not object is because whatever they come back with, it would also give more than just a handful of citizens the opportunity to come back and to speak, whether they be for or against it. So I have no objection to putting it on the agenda for the next meeting, or I'm sorry, for the February meeting. But I would hope that everybody understands that it's probably going to be a long meeting.
Commissioner Zimbauer.
To follow up on that, we don't have the luxury of deciding who gets to speak to us. We took an oath. We hear a lot of things. A lot of people come to speak to us, a lot of people from the public, a lot of people from the private sector. We owe them the respect to having that discussion. On this immediate matter, I think most of us know that the Oxford Road project, which would be one of the largest redevelopment projects in this county, has been kicked around, talked about, and I think there is time for answers. When I was the chairman, I brought all the parties to the table and said, I'm tired of fingers going like this. It's the county's fault. It's the developer's fault. And we all left out of that meeting that we would get to a place where everybody understood. Well, guess what? That's never happened. So I think it is time that we have an understanding where they're at, where the county's at, and where we stand on this project. I mean, you got two projects in this county which are great redevelopment projects, which is the Oxford Road and the Flea World project. Both happen to be on 1792. Both happen to be on each end of Castleberry. Castleberry is one of our fastest growing economic drivers in this county in the last 4 to 5 years. So I, for one, would like to understand where we're at and where we stand and where they're headed.
Commissioner.
Question to the county manager, is the timing of February 8th within our normal time frame so we are not rushing this presentation? I would hate to be accused of that later.
No, we've actually had conversation with Mr. Jones and believe that the February 8th date will be fine. I've also had staff working since December when we first started having this conversation to be prepared to bring an update on, from our perspective, Public Works and Environmental Services on the Oxford Road project so that we'll be able to add more information to that conversation.
Commissioner Zimbow?
I think the county attorney needs to be involved with that, too, because there were the expansion of Fernwood Boulevard, improvements and taking of properties and so forth at eminent domain. I think we need to understand all of that and where that stands.
We have filed all the petitions for the eminent domain actions,
Okay.
and there's settlement discussions ongoing.
Mr. Jones, I have a question for you, if I may. In your presentation, would also include in the entertainment center a poker room or a poker element?
The current concept does have solely a poker room.
Okay.
That's it.
I understand. The only reason I'm asking is because I'd like to have staff, as well as yourself, be prepared to tell us all the pros and cons.
Certainly.
I don't understand them all yet. I'm getting a lot of information, but I want to make sure that from the pros and cons aspect that the county actually gets that information as well.
Certainly. Yeah, there's concepts, there's visuals. We have quite a bit of information to provide.
Any other discussion? Would the board make a motion to put this on the agenda?
As the district commissioner, I'll put the item on the agenda for us to have a presentation regarding the Oxford Road complex.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion to the motion? All in favor of the motion, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Okay. Before we move on, I would like to get an update on the parking lot at the Black Bear Wilderness. I know I brought this up a couple times. Mr. Abel?
The construction of the parking lot is moving forward and will be completed at the end of this month.
And will there be trees removed?
There have been trees identified for removal. We've worked with planning on removal and replacement as is the policy.
Okay. I will tell you that I actually walk that trail in particular between Christmas and New Year's every year, and I did it this year as well. And I was amazed at how many people I met from outside the county. And one of the things, or the idea that I got from one of the residents that was from Orange County was saying that we should have a QR code so people can donate. I thought that was interesting. But out of all the people that I met, and there was about 3 or 4 different groups of people, all of them were from outside this county. So it is a draw regionally. So there may be something maybe we want to look at.
We will certainly do that.
Mr. Applegate?
I just need to say something, and I know Commissioner Lockhart didn't mean the way it sounded, but when we were talking about vacation time,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I have burned through my vacation time. But more importantly, when I'm on vacation, I'm working 24/7. I answered the phone 5 minutes before my mother's funeral in the cemetery because the staff needed something. I answered the phone as we were doing a rehearsal for my daughter's wedding. I think it's important you understand as you look at the county manager and the county attorney contract, you have to have an understanding that we are 24/7. My daughter will tell you she was still mad at me when I was driving her back to college, and I passed 2 restrooms because we were talking about the sports complex on the phone with this guy. In fact. So I think it's important when you look at that, and when I got the extra vacation time, mostly because of illnesses in the family, I had to waive the increase, the 3% increase that year.
We done?
I am. Thank you for asking.
Commissioner Constantine, then Commissioner Lockhart.
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate, because this commission has gone on record many, many times and has, was the first county, if I recall, to ban puppy mills. So this is not something that is new. Backyard breeders is nothing, but we banned puppy mills quite a while ago. So this is something that we have all gone on record many years ago that we were opposed to.
I need a clarification
Wait,
from
are
the
you done?
county attorney's office on that, because we keep going around in a circle on this. The ordinance that we have doesn't ban puppy mills. It bans the sale of puppies in the community. It's a retail ban. That doesn't mean you can't go out and raise puppies. So the birthing of puppies is not banned in this community.
Right, and we're very close.
Or babies, yes. Thank you, Commissioner Lockhart, for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I met with one of my attorneys yesterday morning, in fact, on the ordinance, so we're getting very close.